Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, so today I'm going to be doing a tutorial, somewhat of a tutorial video instead of a regular build video because of the update. I haven't really been able to get into some of the save files that I build with because some of them are just like CC heavy. But I decided to come back to this save file that I'm in right now, which is mainly just a building save file. um to come and finish this split level house that I've had for a couple of months. I posted a picture of it a long time ago. And it was going in like a certain direction, but I didn't like it. So I decided to just come and try again. And if you are someone that uses K-Hippie's ground override, or like grass override, there are some rugs by Wolf X Streamer that are really, I think, like make it very easy to make split level homes and makes it very easy to make them look very nice. I no longer use K-Hippie's ground over mod right now. I'm not using currently, so that's why I kind of had to finagle some things to get the split level house to look okay. But if you do use K-Hippie's mod, I will link those rugs down below so that you can see them. They're very good, so I would highly recommend. But yeah, talking about the actual like build. So this is a build that I did a couple months ago. Didn't really look right, or I wasn't really feeling it, so I left it abandoned. But I have came back and I think it looks really good. It's my favorite build so far. But I kind of just wanted to, because I got a lot of like questions on how I was able to do this, and it's very easy. It's actually not that hard. It's just really, it's mainly about covering the gap to make it look like somewhat okay, and making sure like the slope into the gap looks as natural as you can get it. But I will be doing like kind of like a tutorial on this lot over here. We're gonna like bulldoze that house, and then I will be doing the tutorial. But yeah, this is the house. I also wanted to showcase this house because I'm just really like I really like it. And the response was very good. A lot of people really liked it as well. So this is the back yard. And I just added a bunch of like debug trees and plants and stuff. And this is the back patio, and then this is like the deck. This is the backyard. I didn't extend the fence all the way to the back because I wanted kind of just like a back. I regret making this in Newcrest. It's just like the original shell was in Newcrest, but I do regret making this in Newcrest because it just doesn't really fit with the environment, but whatever. And then this is just a back garage area. I'll just quickly show you. And then these are just like the cars, a work truck, a regular truck, and then, just like the regular family cars. And then this is what the bed looks like from the front. There's like two gates to get to the door and gate to get to the driveway. And this is what it looks like from the front. This is the first floor. I made this originally for a family of 6, but I decided to upload it with the rooms unfurnished. The bottom room's unfurnished, so only like the parents' room is furnished, so that you guys, when you download it, can furnish it to your liking. But yeah, this is the kind of living room area. My thought for the build was to make it look like the first floor. You can't really tell that kids live here, but you can obviously tell in the basement and in the backyard. But I wanted it to seem like a mom who's like, keeps things very like organized, and she likes everything to look nice and to not really have a lot of like toys and stuff laying around. I added this like recently after I uploaded it to the gallery. But yeah, this is the living room. Just a nice living room. I imagine this is like an old set that they got like maybe they got married in the 90s and they were gifted this like very old looking furniture set. And then this is the dining room, 6-seater. This is the kitchen. I really like the kitchen. I think it looks nice, not too cluttered. And then this is the bathroom. I was originally going to make this the laundry as well, but I ended up just putting closets there because I didn't think it looked, or I don't know, kind of didn't flow very well, like the powder room / laundry idea. So, and then this is the parents' bedroom over here. It's just very simple. I didn't overly clutter it just because obviously I was going to upload it and everyone has their preferences on decorating and stuff like that. And then this is the master bathroom. Nothing too fancy. I didn't want it to be like a fancy house. And then this is the basement, which I kind of cluttered it when I uploaded it, but not a lot. And then this is the laundry, and then obviously all of these were empty, but I just went ahead and made this like a guest bedroom slash like computer room. This is the athletic teens room. Not done yet, but I'm in like the process of making this, and this is gonna be the more girly teens room. And then these are gonna be the twin boys room. The twins, this is gonna be their room, and they're gonna be children. And then this is their bathroom, very small bathroom for 4 kids, but kind of realistic, I feel like. But yeah, and then that's basically it for this house. It's up in the gallery if you want to download it, Split Level Family Home. And yeah, now we can go and I'll do a tutorial, a mini tutorial, on this lot. Okay, so I went ahead and bulldozed the house that was here, so we can basically just go ahead and kind of start on the like mini tutorial house. So you would most likely want a square, just like a regular square, or rectangle, I mean, as your bottom, just because this is the easiest shape to work with. And then on the top, I usually like an overhang at the front and the back. I don't typically do it on the sides. I did do it on this one, but not on that side. It's not really that necessary, but I think it looks nice when there's like this kind of overhang. So we can do that. And then what you would do, so typically you would probably like raise it up for foundation, but to get that, to lower it into the ground, we're going to go down instead of up. So this is the foundation tool, you go down. So you see it's gone down a bit, but I want to go a little bit lower. I think, yeah, this is like about a good height, maybe. Or maybe we could go a little bit higher. It really doesn't matter. Like, you can choose if you want to go up or down. So we've got that down. So now we have this gap. So with the K-Hippie override, there are rugs that were made, like I said in the beginning, by Wolf X Streamer, that basically eliminate this gap. Obviously your sim can't walk on this, like it's just not possible. It can't walk on it. There's no floor. It goes down. But the rugs cover this, and they do a really nice job at covering it. So if you don't want a gap, I would recommend that if you do use K-Hippie mod. I don't think there's like a version for like the EA grass, but there is for K-Hippie mod. So now what you would typically do, you could either leave it like this, really, maybe like smooth it out a little bit, and then put like some foliage right here in the middle. But I like to, what I like to do is I like to smooth it out because I think it makes it look more natural. So this is what I would do. I would, okay, wait, that went really fast. You would probably want to adjust softness and speed to something lower. So you would probably want to go, I would recommend going slow. I like going slow. But just keep in mind that you won't be able to walk around. That's why I made this relatively small house on a really big lot, because it gave me like a lot of area to work with to be able to make the walkways where we would walk around. So I'm just gonna do the sides right now, to show you guys, because now you see how it looks more natural, this slope, but I won't be able to walk on this side, but that's okay, because so in the front, I would typically do, depending on how far your walkway is, I would probably do like maybe 1 or 2 squares at most. Keep it 1 or 2 squares at most, and then just keep going. Just keep smoothing it out. Also on this side, you can smooth it out on this side. And then the back, like I said, if you, or I don't think I've said anything, if you end up doing a patio like I did, you have to kind of level it to the height of the floor on the bottom floor. And I will show you guys how to also do that. So what you can do is, I would do square just because it's a good shape. I would do square, and then you're going to click flatten to height, and then we have to go down. So my thing is about a glitch, but that's just because I have reshade. So we're gonna go down to the floor. I think this is the floor. It might not be, but we're gonna go down, flatten to height. Okay, so I have to go further down, a little bit further down. Okay, that might have been too much. So yeah, we were at the correct height. Oh, my thing is glitching. Wait. Okay. So this might be about the correct height. Yeah, okay, so it is. And then you basically do this. You're going to flatten. Wait, I don't know if you guys can hear me over that. You're going to flatten to height. Alright, so we've got that flattened. Obviously, it looks kind of bad. So what you're gonna do is you're going to now take the smooth tool again. But first, actually, let's let me get this back. Okay, we're going to just mark out like a little stone thing. So we're gonna go like this and like this, and these are where our stairs are gonna be. So we can probably just put them in now, like that, like so, and then, oh, okay, I think you have to put your stairs after. Yeah, so you put in your stairs after you do that. Obviously, like, this looks weird, but it will not look that bad once you're done with it. We're gonna have to like height, or this is going to have to come back up. So there's a lot of finagling that you have to do with this stuff, unfortunately. Oh, okay. Obviously, if you have reshade, this is gonna be annoying, but that's just how it is. Let me like remove this, because this is now, I have no idea what's happening. Okay, I think these, okay, so that's creating a problem. I don't know why, but you can always use, I can show how to use, I will show you guys how to use like a debug fence or something there. Because for some reason that's creating a problem when it didn't over here. Oh yes, it did. Okay, so yeah. Except I also was able to make it differently. Whatever, okay. So we're just gonna ignore that because that's not working right now. But I'll show you guys how to cover that. And then we're gonna want to go back over here to slow speed. And you're just going to want to do the same thing you did over there, just smooth it out. Of course, you have to be mindful that you won't be able to walk here, so you want to keep a good enough like 2-tile walkway. Okay, so I basically went ahead and just like decorated or like did the outside a little bit just so we can visualize like what the house looks like. It obviously doesn't look as good as that one, but this is just for tutorial purposes. But so now what you would want to do is I would recommend getting debug plants, because there is a specific one that I used for this house that I really liked. So if you have the better build by Twisted Mexi, this can be very easy. You just go over here and click, I believe it's a live edit plant or a debug plant, I can't quite remember, but it's one of these. I think it's this one. This is the one. It's from Get Together, I believe. If you don't have Get Together, that's fine. You could use any of the like base game ones, like this one. Works perfectly fine as well, but I like the way this one looks. I think it looks the best. But if you don't have build by Twisted Mexi to get organized debug, you would basically just like or to get live edit objects, you would open the cheat code, Shift Ctrl+C, or the cheat menu, type in testing cheats true. I would also recommend to have bb.moveobjects on, type in that. And then you could do bb.show hidden objects, bb.show live edit objects, I believe, as well. And I would also even put like bb.ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement, I believe is one of them. I don't know. I don't remember all the cheats by like memory because I haven't used them in such a long time with this like Twisted Mexi mod, but you can look them up online. You will see all of them and how to get to the live edit objects. But so basically I take this plant and I size it down to, oh, let me see, to, hello, I don't know why that was there. I think I sized it down pretty small. So yeah, about this to like the smallest it will go. And then I just kind of just put it in the gap. It's not gonna always fit like perfectly. Like sometimes it fits like this like pretty well, where it doesn't clip into the inside, and then if it's like this fits pretty good. Most of the time it will not fit like that though, just depending on how you smoothed the ground. But sometimes I also like to have them at different layers, but basically you would do this, right? Sometimes, especially at the corners, it might not look the best, but here you see how it's lower. I kind of like that because it isn't all uniform. But let's say it doesn't like, it's like, it's not like sitting right. Let's like, I'm gonna raise it, pretend like it's like sitting up here for some reason. It's not sitting right, you can't get it to get into the ground, it's not covering the gap. What you would do is, if you have the tool mod by Twisted Mexi, is you would lower it. Oh, wait, you would grab it and then lower it by, I would go slow until you find like what lowers it correctly. I would go minus point, let's go 0.4 or 0.4 to begin with. Okay, never mind, that lowered it nothing. Okay, I think I meant minus 0.4. You see, we're all learning, you know, not everyone knows everything. Okay, so yeah, you see 0.04 kind of lowered it pretty good. So maybe we would do 0.0, no, not 0.0, 0.1. That lowered it more. Maybe you want it one more. Okay, so that lowered it pretty good. If you want it lower or higher, really depends on you. But so because we lowered it minus 0.6 in total, if we have another plant that is at the same height that this one was at, it's sitting at the same height, it's not covering the gap, you would then lower it again to 1.5 or minus 1.5, minus 1.6, minus 1.7 if you want like variety and heights. But yeah, that's basically how you cover the gap with the debug plants. Obviously you unclick that. Remember to unclick before you exit out. So yeah, that's basically how it would look. And you just do that all around. I do that all around, and then you just take some terrain paint, some dirt, and just, you know, go over, you know, just make it look like there is dirt there. So that's basically how I covered this. And then you can add like some different plants, like I added some like bushes and stuff just for variety. But now I want to show you guys how to do like the decks and stuff. But before we do that, for the stairs, I kind of realized that you can just you don't really even have to put like the thing that I did because it wasn't working. Like I extended this wall there, but for some reason it's not working. You could always like do this, put like a railing, and then just cover it with like some columns. So I think I'm going to cover it with these, maybe, if these work, because I am going to put like a deck there. So yeah, I kind of have like a deck here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put one there, and I'm also just gonna put one here. And but you can also do this with like live edit columns as well. Oh, I don't think I really needed that one. Never mind. That's basically how I did the deck. You can also add, I guess we could technically add, it might look a little weird, but we could add some stuff, some columns here for support. And then you would add like the flooring right here. Let me find like a good one. We would do the flooring, and then I don't know, you would do like a fence, some fencing, some random fencing. Let's do this one. And then you could keep it like that, just like a deck that you can't really get off of, or you can add a stair. You would really have to figure out where. I would probably do it on this side because there wasn't where I'm trying to get it as close as I can. Okay, so we would do that, and you would take that off, and you would basically now have a deck that is accessible. So yeah, that's basically how I did the deck on that build over there. And then of course you can create a patio over here. And now you have a back patio. And that's basically how I did this back patio over here. And then for the front I did just kind of like a bump out part thing, like it's part of the build, the bump out, and then so the terrain, the gap goes around it, and I didn't take away the stairwell. So you would basically just do the smoothing around the stairwell. But if you wanted to do more of a deck type of like entryway, stairway, patio, I don't know what it's called, you would do this, and then you could either get columns from live edit that are basically just like, you know, decorative columns and put them under here, so like this, or you could, I think you can lower, so you could basically do this, like maybe add one and then shift click it. Actually, I put it in the wrong place, but basically like that, right? Like you could do that, or you could, I think there is a possibility to lower this. You could keep it like this if you really wanted to and didn't mind, but I think there is a possibility to lower these into the ground with tool. and then I can lower them. I think you can lower them. I'm gonna try right now. I think I've tried this before, but I really can't remember. So we're gonna lower them by 0.5. Okay, so they are able to be lowered. Let's do another 0.5. Okay, and then let's do 0.2. Okay, and then a 0.1. So in total, we lowered them 0.13, 0.13. All right. Okay. I was scared I wasn't gonna be able to ungrab it. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, and yeah, you can basically lower columns with the tool mod. A little bit difficult, a little bit annoying, but doable. And then obviously you just do your path. We could do a path to the house and then do a path around to the back. And then yeah, that's basically it. I think that's all I really wanted to show. Like I said, there's always live edit objects that are more like decorative objects, like columns that you can always use and stuff. There's like these columns that you can place in areas where it might not let you place a regular column. And then there's also like fences that you could use. I used a fence over here, like a live edit fence, because it wouldn't let me place a regular fence. But yeah, just I hope this tutorial was useful in how to build a split level home. Alright, so this is the end of the video. I have finished the build. I know I said that I wasn't going to upload it, it was only for the tutorial, but I ended up actually just furnishing the whole outside, and I really like how the build turned out. I kind of like changed it up a bit, so this will definitely be on the gallery. But I also just wanted to show you guys how it turned out. This is the finished build with all of like the outside done, and I just wanted to mention that when I put the path down, these columns went up, so they returned to their original position when I put like a floor down. So just keep that in mind. You will most likely just have to do any type of path that you do with terrain paint. And then I also wanted to mention, I had completely forgot that we have like these sidewalk slabs, so you could technically, instead of using the rugs that I mentioned, if you don't want a gap, you could technically just put these all around your house to cover the gap. These are debug, I believe, debug floor or like street pavers from what is it, Eco Lifestyle. So yeah, you could technically do that. I had totally forgot about these, but if you're not someone that's a fan of the gap, this is maybe a possible solution. But yeah, I am done with the build, I guess. This is how it turned out. I think it turned out pretty well. If you are in need of any other tutorials, just let me know and I will see if I can assist. And yeah, this is the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next video. Goodbye.